In this episode, I'm going to review the CRKT River Rescue Knife. This is my favorite externally mounted river rescue knife. Those of you that watch the channel probably know I like to put knives in pockets, zippered pockets. With this PFD, these pockets are hard to find the knives, so I'm going to mount the knife on the outside of my PFD, and I've chosen the Barracuda. I think it's the best knife for that for a number of reasons. One is it's just svelte. It's not this big thing sticking out. I'm trying to pull myself back in the raft. It only minorly affects that. There's not a whole lot sticking up here to get caught on the perimeter line, and so it's just a nice knife for that. I can access it with both hands fairly easily. And as a knife, it comes out of the sheath pretty easily, which you can adjust. There's a little screw here that if you unscrew it a little bit, it sits tighter in the sheath. It doesn't stay 100% locked all the time, but it's really good. And so you pull it out, there's a place to put your finger, so you hopefully don't drop the knife in the river. I really like that feature of it. And it cuts through rope pretty well. You can see this is difficult to cut through rope. It's not as good as like a really good internally mounted knife, but it's ripping through it and I can get some good action on it. And so I'm gonna say it's probably the best cutting externally mounted knife. So this is kind of my go-to one. They just update it with a thing called a VEF serration. So instead of the serrations you're used to seeing, it has these really interesting wavy looking serrations. When I first saw that on the website, I thought it was kind of silly. I didn't seem to think it would work. This serration is made to cut through webbing, made to cut through rope, and it does a pretty good job. I'm gonna say about the same as the other one, but it just feels smoother. And actually, in my experience, it maybe doesn't cut quite as well as the original, but it's really smooth. And my experience is based on just like 10 or 15 attempts, but it's really good and it looks really cool. So I like it. So overall, again, my favorite externally mounted knife. If you're gonna get one, the one downside is the sheath doesn't mount itself really well in the PFDs. There's a little clip on the back. It could come unclipped, and so you'll want to put a couple of zip ties on to hold it on really well. But other than that, it's my favorite one. Again, it's svelte. You can manage how hard it is to get in and out of the sheath. It's probably the sharpest or near the sharpest externally mounted knife. It's the one I personally would recommend. If you want to buy one, I'll put a link down below to where you can buy one on Amazon. You can also go to CRKT's website and buy it there. If you have any questions down in the comments, you have things to add, please comment. And yeah, thanks. I'll see you in the next episode.